Episode 1: The Pastor's Wife's Secret. I've been the pastor's wife for 22 years. Every Sunday, I sit in the front pew, smile sweetly at the congregation, and pretend my life is perfect. People in this town look at me and see grace, devotion, holiness. They see a woman who has it all together. The truth? I've been living a lie. A lie so heavy, so poisonous, that if anyone knew, it would burn this little town to the ground. Because I don't love my husband anymore. I love the choir director. It started innocently enough, the way sins often do. His name is Daniel, and when he first came to our church, he was just another talented voice looking to give back to the community. He was younger than me by nearly 10 years, unmarried, handsome in that effortless way, and full of energy. He walked into the church with his guitar and that easy smile, and I swear to you, it felt like sunlight cutting through stained glass. I should have walked away then, but I didn't. I was raised to be obedient, to never question. I married James, Pastor James, as everyone calls him, when I was barely 21. My parents pushed me into it, saying it was an honor to be chosen by a man so devoted to God, so respected in the community. Back then, I thought I was lucky. I didn't know love from duty, and I believed that if I followed the rules, happiness would follow. But James is not the man this town thinks he is. Behind closed doors, the smile fades. The voice that sounds so gentle in the pulpit turns cold, sharp, even cruel. He doesn't hit me. No, he's far too careful for that. But words can bruise deeper than fists. I've been belittled, dismissed, and silenced more times than I can count. And the worst part? No one would ever believe me. To them, he is the holy man. To me, he's a stranger in my own home. That's when Daniel noticed me. It started small during choir practice. He'd joke with me, make me laugh. Once, while arranging hymn sheets, his hand brushed mine. It was nothing. At least, it should have been nothing. But the spark jolted through me like electricity. For the first time in years, I felt seen. Not as the pastor's wife, not as the silent, smiling woman on display, but as myself. And I was starving for it. Weeks turned into months. I started staying after choir practice, offering to help with the music. We'd talk for hours about books, about childhood dreams, about things I never dared to share with James. I learned Daniel loved poetry, that he wrote songs he never let anyone hear. He learned that I hated lemon pie, even though I baked it for every church supper, because James insisted it was tradition. He laughed and said, "So you've been living for everyone but yourself." That sentence cracked something open inside me. The first time we kissed, it was in the church basement, surrounded by dusty hymnals and folding chairs. I knew it was wrong. My heart pounded with guilt, but also with something I hadn't felt in years. Desire. The kiss was soft, hesitant, like he was asking permission to see me. And I let him. God help me. I let him. From then on, every hymn I sang felt like a lie. Every prayer I whispered tasted like ash. I'd sit in the pew on Sunday mornings, nodding along to my husband's sermons about fidelity, honesty, and purity, while my body ached for Daniel's touch. I tried to stop it. I prayed, begged God to take away the temptation. I avoided him, ignored his texts, pretended it had never happened. But the more I resisted, the more I burned. And when I saw him again, when I heard his voice rise above the congregation in song, I caved. Again and again. We met in secret, in his car by the river, in the choir loft late at night, sometimes even in my own kitchen while James was away visiting parishioners. Every stolen moment felt dangerous, intoxicating. But secrets never stay hidden in a town like this. I started noticing whispers. Mrs. Klein, the church gossip, staring a little too long. My husband watching me with suspicion. One Sunday, James gave a sermon on betrayal, on how Judas kissed Jesus only to deliver him to death. His eyes met mine mid-sermon, and my blood ran cold. Did he know? Or was it just my guilt painting suspicion where there was none? Things escalated when I missed a church committee meeting. I had told everyone I was sick. The truth, I was in Daniel's arms at a motel an hour away. When I returned, Mrs. Klein cornered me. "Funny, I don't think you look sick," she said. Her tone dripped with implication. My stomach twisted. If one person suspected, how long until everyone knew? But the real breaking point came one night when Daniel and I argued. He said he wanted more, wanted me to leave James, to start a new life. He said he was tired of being the secret. And for the first time, I admitted the truth to him. I couldn't leave, not because I didn't want to, but because I was trapped. What would people say if the pastor's wife left him? My family would disown me, the church would crumble. I had nowhere to go, no money of my own. My entire identity was tied to James. To leave him was to erase myself. Daniel held my face in his hands, eyes full of sorrow, and said, "Then we'll stay like this forever, pretending?" I had no answer. But life has a way of forcing answers on you. A month later, I missed my period. At first, I thought it was stress, but then the sickness came, the exhaustion, the faint lines on the pregnancy test. My breath caught in my throat. Pregnant. At 43 years old, with a husband who hasn't touched me in months. I stared at the test in my shaking hands and whispered, "Dear God, whose child is this?" Because I truly didn't know. If it was James's, it would be a miracle. If it was Daniel's, it would be the scandal that tore this town apart. And now, as I sit here confessing this into the darkness, I know my secret can't stay buried much longer. Sooner or later, the truth will come out. And when it does, it won't just ruin me. It will ruin him, Daniel, maybe even James. And perhaps that's what terrifies me the most. Because sometimes I wonder, do I want to be caught?